Hello and welcome to this CoolLED video tutorial. In this video we will show you how to set up the pE-6501 trigger box with a pE-300 Ultra within µManager. In this video I'm using the pE-300 Ultra for demo purposes, but the setup works exactly the same for a pE-4000. Firstly, we can set up the pE-300 Ultra and the pE-6501. As well as these two components, you should also have a 5-way BNC to BNC cable, a USB cable, a control pod for your pE-300 Ultra, and a power supply for it. Firstly, we're going to connect the BNC cable to our BNC connectors on the back of the pE-300 Ultra. Here you have 4 connectors, one for the global, and 3 individual ones for the 3 LEDs inside the unit. Channel 1 referring to the UV LED, Channel 2 referring to the 460nm LED, and Channel 3 to the GYR LED. On your BNC cable, on each side, you'll have 5 connectors, each labelled from A to E. So here we're going to connect A to channel 1, the one labelled B to channel 2, and C to channel 3. On the other side, we're going to connect it to our pE-6501, which has 5 connectors, all labelled A to E. So here, connector A to A, B to B, and so on. On the other side of your pE-6501 box, we have a USB connection where we can plug in our USB cable. We won't plug it into our computer just yet. Firstly, we're going to connect our control pod and our power supply for the pE-300 Ultra. Once done and connected, you can plug in the power and turn it on. We're now ready to plug in our USB into our computer. The rest of this setup will now be performed on the computer. When the USB is plugged in, the computer will attempt to locate a driver file. If found, you will get the following pop-up, and this can be dismissed. If no driver file is found, a pop-up may be displayed stating there is no driver found. The pE-6501 is based on the NI USB 6501 card, so requires an NI driver. To download the driver for the pE-6501, head to the NI website at ni.com, and under here you can go to Support, Software and Driver Downloads, NI Driver Downloads. Select NI DAQMX, and from this page choose the latest version and download the file. Once downloaded, you can run the file and follow the steps in the setup and install the program. The default settings work for the pE-6501. This setup and install takes several minutes, and your computer will require restarting once completed. If not already done so, µManager now needs to be downloaded and installed. This can be downloaded from micro-manager.org. We suggest downloading the latest nightly build in version 1.4. Make sure you download either the 32-bit or the 64-bit version to match your computer. Run the application, and once downloaded, run through the steps outlined in the µManager setup until it's complete. Once installed, µManager can now be opened. I will open the default configuration file, but this can be changed later. In the software, go to Tools and Hardware Configuration Wizard. Now choose whether to modify an existing configuration or create a new one. I'm going to create a new one. This step now installs the pE-6501 in the configuration. Scroll down until NI100X is found, and here you can open it and double-click Digital I/O. If NI100X is not here, it will likely be below, saying unavailable. This will only happen if the driver hasn't been installed correctly. Double-click on Digital I/O. This opens the following dialog box. In Auto Detected Output Port, select the value column and some options can be seen here. On my system, the one to use is called dev2/port1. Depending on the system you're running, this may be labeled differently and this can be selected instead. For example, it may read as dev1/port1 and this works as well. If it states no valid devices found, please ensure the USB has not become disconnected. In the next row, I/O channel, please ensure that this matches the writing above. In this case, dev2/port1. Once done, select OK. In this demo, we're going to use a demonstration camera to show the setup of the pE-6501. However, if you have a camera attached, please feel free to use this one. The demo camera is found under Demo Camera and D-Hub. And I'll just select here the demo camera. OK, and OK, and next. Please ensure here the default camera is selected to whatever you've just chosen. Now click through here to the finish. I can change the name here so we don't overwrite any previous files. Once set up, the P300 Ultra with the pE-6501 is now ready to use. This section of the video will show some basic functionality of these. Set up the channels from the P300 Ultra, select the plus sign next to Group, and inside here, select the checkbox next to Digital I/O Label. This will allow control of the 3 individual LEDs inside the P300 Ultra, as well as a combination of the 3. Type in a suitable group name for this. In this case, I'm calling it P300 Ultra. To select individual LEDs, presets can now be edited. As default, there's a large number of numbers already present, and these can be edited in terms of name or deleted. So select your newly made group, and from here, select the preset drop-down list. This example is a connection from A on the pE-6501 to the UV LED channel, connection B to the blue LED, and C to the GYR LED. This may be different on different setups depending on how it was initially connected, but in this example, preset value 1 is the UV channel. When selected, you should be able to see the UV turn on your P300 Ultra. What we can do is edit this mode to be called DAPI, or select whatever name you like for it. This goes for all the other preset values as well. For one, we can edit, change the name to DAPI. You can see a large variety of numbers present. Value 2 in this case, I'm going to edit to be called GFP. Do this with as many LEDs as needed, and when selected, the control pod of the P300 Ultra will highlight the LEDs being used. This makes it easy to see what numbers refer to what LEDs. For example, if we go to number 3, this turns on the UV and the blue channel. So this can be called DAPI and GFP. Here, I'm just going to rename the 3 of those, but it's important to note that the pE-6501 only controls the on and off functionality of the P300 Ultra, or the pE-4000. So the intensity must be set on the control pod before undertaking any experiments. It is now possible to create an experiment within µManager. From here, open up multi-dimensional acquisition. And here you can change the number of images you want to take and the interval as well. In channels, in the drop-down group, you can see the group you've made, in this case P300 Ultra. Click New to input the preset settings we've either added or edited. Add as many channels as required. In this case I'll do 2, the DAPI and the GFP. Under the configuration column is where your selection can be made. Here scroll down, you can see DAPI, and below we can select GFP. When all the settings have been adjusted to your requirements, for example the exposure, you can now select Acquire. The black and white image will appear if the demo camera has been used. Once completed, you can save the images from your experiment, ready to analyze and interpret. Thank you for watching this CoolLED video tutorial.